Chapter 17. Rats and Tuna. The boy had somehow managed to steal himself a sailor's deck shirt and trousers, but there was no mistaking that mop of black hair. I sprinted up after him onto the main deck and spun around in both directions, searching for a sign of him. If someone caught him, they'd take him straight to Captain Sangra. Stowaways weren't tolerated on a Mencon ship. He was lucky it was lunchtime and most of the crew was down below, save the lookouts up in the crow's nest, their eyes trained on the horizon. I searched the entire main deck before climbing the quarterdeck stairs. I had nearly given up when I caught a flash of movement between large piles of coiled rope and nets on the starboard side. I hurried to the rope coils and found the boy crouched like a mongoose ready to strike. When he saw me, he held up both fists in front of his face. "Stay back, goat turd, or I'll break your nose this time," he hissed. "Go on and try," I whispered back. "They'll catch you and you'll be thrown in the brig." "Wouldn't that just make you smile, you squealer?" he said. "It's 'cause of you I'm here at all." "It's not my fault the police caught you. You were the one who—" The sound of whistling made me stop. I looked back and saw Mr. Lark coming up the quarterdeck steps toward us. "Get down," I whispered. The boy flattened himself to the deck boards behind a large pile of rope. I put my hands on my hips and looked up, pretending to take note of the clouds. "Afternoon, young Si," said Lark, striding toward me. "How lucky I found you. Today you have the privilege of helping me launch my collection net." "Absolutely. Great fun." I tried to make myself as animated as possible to keep Lark's attention on me. Luckily, Lark was the least observant man I'd ever met. He took a step within inches of the boy's legs and didn't notice him, then reached down and grabbed a large net. "Yesterday I caught a new species of tuna," he said brightly. "I believe I'll name it after myself." I helped him haul the rope net across the quarterdeck toward the starboard rail. "Did you really? How fascinating, sir." "Yes, these nets are quite good for catching fast swimmers." Lark struggled to drag the heavy netting to the edge of the deck. The quarterdeck was enclosed by a wall of thick planks. There were square holes in the planking spaced at regular intervals all along both sides of the ship. These were the gun ports, where the quarterdeck cannons had been placed during the war. "Help me, Si," grunted Lark as he heaved the net to one of the gun ports. "Now, push it through with me. That's it." I helped him shove the net out through the hole. "There," he said, wiping his hands on his pants. "Now I'll just watch over it and see what we turn up." "Let me watch it for you, sir. I have the next hour free, and I'm delightfully excited to see what you discover next." Lark smiled proudly. "You have all the makings of a naturalist, Si. Come get me, and I'll get someone to help you haul it in." I watched him walk away, letting out a big exhale when he disappeared down the stairs. Near my feet, the rope attached to Lark's collection net zipped along the deck boards as the net was dragged farther behind the ship. My eyes followed the snaking rope to the coil the boy crouched behind. Tripe! I hurried over to him and tried to get him out of the way. "Careful! Look, you're—" "Stay back!" He jerked away from me and stood up. Hand loops had been tied at regular intervals along the rope, and when he stepped back, he put his foot inside one of the loops. At that moment, the rope pulled taut and yanked his feet out from under him. The boy clawed at the smooth boards as the net dragged him toward the cannon hole. I scrambled after him, reaching out for his hands, but I slipped. I grabbed the rope, but it was moving too fast. It burned my palms as it ran through them. "He'll stop at the deck wall. He'll stop, and I'll grab him." But the boy was so thin, and the weight of the net so heavy that it pulled him straight through the gun port and off the ship. He had gone overboard.